Hello, grade 4s. Today we're going to be talking about equations involving multiplication and division. Last lesson we talked about what the word equation meant. Please remind yourself what it means. Hopefully you thought of the first 4 letters of equations. Remember that an equation is a statement with an equal sign that shows that two things are equal. So when we see the word equation, we know things are equal. Last week we talked about equations that were involving addition and subtraction. This week, however, we are going to be talking about equations involving multiplication and division. So, we're going to go through a few examples together today as a way to figure this out. So, today, again, remember we're looking at that unknown. Okay, so the unknown number in an equation, okay, remember it could be represented by a number of symbols. It could be represented by maybe a square. Last time we also used a triangle. I also talked about how it could be used by a question mark. In older grades, once you guys get into grade 6, you're going to start using letter variables, so something like an N or an X to represent the unknown. But it doesn't matter what you guys use to represent it. They all mean the same thing. They are still unknown, and we're trying to figure out what they are. So, our first question that we're going to do together is 6 times, we'll use that square, equals 24. Okay, so I know here that 6 times a number equals 24. So last time we modeled our unknown using counters as one of the ways to solve our equation, and that could be used again. So I know that I am making groups of 6 here. So 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 6 things, and then I need to try to figure out how many groups of 6, right? How many groups of 6 I need in order to make 24. Okay, so maybe I want to, so that's one group of 6. Okay, another group of 6 is how many? It's 12, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so another group of 6 would be 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 would be a third group of 6. And then I could do a fourth group of 6, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And I figured out that 1, 2, 3, 4. 6 times 4 equals 24. Does that make sense? It does. So we know that 6 times 2 equals 12, right? And 12 doubled, is this going to be the same as 6 times 4? So 24 fits in there perfectly. Our next question we're going to be doing is involving division. So our next question is 20 divided by, we'll use a diamond this time. So 20 divided by diamond equals 5. Okay, so again, I don't know, but I can do a couple different things to solve it. Okay, so maybe I want to use counters. Okay, so remember we can always kind of do different things, and remember last time I said that we could think of an equation as a balancing act, right? We need to try to balance out both sides. So I know, because how multiplication and division are related, I know that if 20 divided by something equals 5, then I know the exact same thing, 20 divided by 5 is equal to that unknown. Okay? We learned about how it doesn't matter whether you are doing 20 divided by 5 or 20 divided by whatever that other thing is. They're going to both equal the same thing. So to solve this, maybe I could do just 20 divided by 5, or maybe I want to use counters. So I know I need to divide it into 5 groups, so I'm going to make 5 groups. So I'm going to make these 5 big groups here. And then I know that I need to split up my 20 counters into those 5 groups. And I need to do it evenly, okay, in those 5 groups, because that's what division means, equal groups. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I finished. So I divided my 20 counters into 5 groups, and how many are in each group? There are 4 in this group, 4 in this group, 4 in this group, 4 in this group, and 4 in this group. So 20 divided by 5 is 4. So my unknown variable equals 4. So again, we always want to make sure we're checking our work with this stuff, just because it takes an extra 10 seconds and it can save us from making an easy mistake. So 20 divided by 4 equal 5. Does that check out? If I have 20 things dividing them into groups of 4, it does check out, because I know that 4 times 5 equals 20. Perfect. We're going to do another question here. So triangle times 3 equals 9. So I know that any number timesing a number is going to equal. So this number times 3 equals 9. But I know from my properties of multiplication and division, of how they're related, that if 2 numbers multiply together to equal a number, then I can take that answer and divide it by one of my factors. So if I times by 3 and divide by 3, that's going to cancel out. So my triangle is going to equal whatever 9 divided by 3 is. So again, I can do my counters if I need to. I can draw out my 3 boxes and then divide 9 counters evenly into them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. Good job. Okay. So, sometimes you guys might have the unknown being the answer. So if I have 8 times 2 equals an unknown, this is obviously very easy to solve. The unknown variable you just solve. So 2 times 8 equals 16. So 16 is that unknown variable. Again, we just want to plug it in, double check that we got our math right, just as a way to double check our answer. So when we're talking equations, we can also use them to help us solve word problems. So we're going to work through this together. So Salim has 7 friends. Okay, lucky him, he's got a bunch of friends, that's nice. So friends has 12 books at home. Okay, so what the word each means something important. Okay, so it doesn't mean that all of his friends combined have 12 books. It means each of those friends have 12 books. Okay, so we could write an equation to represent this problem. So the word each here clues us in to what we need to do. So we know in math we have 4 basic operations. We can add, we can subtract, we can multiply, and we can divide. Okay? So for the purpose of this, Salim has 7 friends. Each friend has 12 books. We have 4 choices on what we can do in this equation. But the word each tells us that we don't need to add, we don't need to subtract, we don't need to divide. We need to multiply. So if we wanted to write an equation for this, we could write 7 times 12 equals our unknown. Because each one of those friends has 12 books. So think about it like this. Okay, so if these are, I'm going to draw all of Salim's friends here. They all look very similar, I know, guys. This one's taller. He's the tall friend, okay? So each of them has 12 books. So that means this friend has 12 books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, it also means that this friend has 12 books. This friend has 12 books, 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 and this friend has 12 books. Each of them have those 12 books. So that's what clues us into the multiplying. So in the purpose of this, we could take that equation and we could use it to help us solve the problem. I'm not going to draw out that many counters because that personally is not a strategy that I like to do, but it might work for some people. But I'm going to use my 2 by 1 digit multiplication to solve this because I am really good at that. So 2 times 7 is 14. I'm going to put my 4 here, carry my 1, and then I'm going to go 7 times 1 is 7, and then I'm going to add that 1, so 8. So my answer is 84. All of his friends have 84 books altogether. So hopefully this gave you a little bit of an idea of some ways that we can use unknown variables to represent equations. I'm going to just give you a couple of questions to do, and you can try to answer them in the comments below. So 25 equals circle times 5. So try to figure out what that circle represents. And diamond equals, or diamond divided by 4 equals 3. So again, try to figure out what that diamond represents. Remember, you can always use the opposite. So here, if I'm multiplying that unknown by 5, maybe I need to divide 25 by 5 to get my answer. Here, we can do the opposite again. So I know that an unknown variable divided by 4 equals 3. So then that would mean, because of my reciprocal properties of multiplication, that 4 times 3, right, is going to equal my diamond. Okay, so you guys to answer those questions in the comments below. Try to figure out what the circle and what the diamond represent. Good luck, grade 4s.